Very good. And keep it up. And it's like this legacy has to be continued, right? It's not only up to the 10th standard, it's going to be further carried, and you should reach your dream destinations very soon. So, all the best. My best wishes to all of you all for your future career also. And congratulations on the success that you have achieved in your 10th results also. I guess CBSE results are not yet out. So, uh, of course, eventually, even they'll be out very soon. But SSC board and ICSE board students have already, like received their results. So, on this note, let's go ahead with something which is a syllabus of your 12th standard that we had started in the last session. That is human reproduction, in which we had started with male reproductive system. Correct? So let us go ahead in understanding about the details of male reproductive system, okay, accessory glands. So we have to start our session from the accessory glands. So let's go ahead with it. I'll just go quickly with a recap of whatever we have done also in the previous class. And yes, so, yeah. Yes. So we have started with this chapter in which we have seen that the sexual reproduction would involve the fusion of male and female gametes. These were the, certain events that were occurring in sexually reproducing organism. Beta. Yeah, exactly. So we have seen about the word gametogenesis, then that is formation of gametes, insemination, that is transfer of gametes, fertilization, that is fusion of gametes. Then we had talked about the blastocyst, that is formation of the next stage of zygote. So the zygote will undergo mitosis to form something called as the morula. Then the implantation stage, that is attachment of the morula to the uterine wall and formation of placenta, and gestation. Gestation is the development of the embryo. So those time period taken from the inception to the parturition, that is till the childbirth, is going to be called as gestation, is what we have talked about. Then we talked about the primary sex organs and the secondary sex organs of males and females. We had started with the male reproductive system. We have seen something called as the details of this. That is where are the testes located, what is scrotum, how is it attached to it, what is the reason for the presence of the muscles which are going to be controlling the movement of the testes for maintaining a specific temperature lesser than the body temperature. Correct? We saw about the inguinal canal, how the testes are going to descend into the inguinal via the inguinal canal into the scrotal sac. Right? We have seen its placement, how it is placed. With the diagrams, we understood that how the entire placement is going to be. You want me to show? I will. It is there. आगे जाके और clear है बेटा. हर space में you will come to know. Okay. See in this diagram now, you can very clearly see this is the seminal vesicle. Can you see here seminal vesicle? पर यहाँ पर it will be all the more clear. You can see the seminal vesicle here also very clearly. ये देखो. Here they are showing the seminal vesicle. These light blue. Can you see this? Light pink. These are going to be the seminal vesicles. Okay. And this region where it is going to end now, this region where my cursor is right now, is going to be the ampulla. So this is going to be the vas deferens which is coming. It is looping over the ureters, and it is going to form a bulging structure which will be called as the ampulla. See, which will merge with the seminal vesicles. Okay, right? Then ejaculatory duct will be this one. You can see this, the label. Look at this, ejaculatory duct. ठीक है ना? Now got it, beta? Okay. What is your doubt? What is the topic for this week's stat? It's going to be a combination of all the three chapters. All the three chapters which you have already given now. So the three chapters which we have completed earlier, which you have already given the DAT and VAT, unka combination hai. It's going to be a combination. Even the same thing will be for the VAT. Number of questions will vary. Someone had asked me something about the zygospore. Let me see. Who is asking about the zygospore? Huh. Do zygospores undergo zygotic meiosis? Yeah, they do undergo zygotic meiosis. Okay. Vast difference forms the ejaculatory duct. Yeah, it's going to ultimately end into that particular common duct. Ejaculatory duct will have the opening from the vas deferens also, from the seminal vesicles also. So it's going to be a common point. Fine. Yeah. I'm going to see actually what happened. I was a bit okay, whatever. If there is going to be that, then the portion is going to be three chapters combined together. If there is going to be a that. Okay. Well, if they are saying that there is no that, I don't know. I mean, you will get the information accordingly. Fine. Yeah. I'm going to send you this PPT immediately. Yes, you would get it. They are in the, like transport. They come from Delhi. So the modules will take some time to reach Mumbai from Delhi because of these circumstances. Now, it's taking a bit longer. Otherwise, you would have got it. You will get it. Fine. Yeah. So this is the placement of the testes that we have seen where it is. Yeah, even in the side view, you would be able to see very clearly now. So it will become very easy for you all to understand this particular one. See, bacha, ye dekho, ye wala. You can see this. Further also, I'll show you the diagrams. Really easy. I have explained you what is cryptorchidism. I have explained what is inguinal hernia to you all, right? Along with the diagram, you all can see internal structure of testes. So we have done very much in detail. Outermost tunica vaginalis, middle tunica albuginea, inner is vasculosa, and how the seminiferous tubules are going to be, ultimately coming and ultimately making up all the structures. Okay, so this is again the same diagram that I had explained that how it is going to be. We saw caput epididymis, corpus epididymis, and cauda epididymis, correct? We also saw that how much hours or how much time does it take for the maturation of the sperms to occur. What is the dilated, or the dilated means swollen part, you know, of the vas deferens, which is going to be called as ampulla, and so on. Well, I guess these things have already been told to you all in the last class. We move ahead with the new content of today's lecture, that is accessory glands. Before I go to accessory glands, anyone having any difficulty with the content that we have already done? किसी को कोई डाउट है, किसी को कोई डिफिकल्टी है? Anyone who has got any difficulty? Can I move ahead? Krishna, you know what the answer is, beta. Huh? I've already said the dates which you have given. So you should know which examinations you have already given. And I'm asking about the difficulties, I'm asking about the doubts. Okay, so please be very precise with asking the doubts at what time. Right now, we have to focus more on understanding these things rather than the things which we have already done. Well, so there are three accessory glands seen in the males. That's the first one we're talking about is the seminal vesicle. Seminal vesicle is also called as uterus masculinus. Okay, it is formed from the Mullerian duct of the embryo. Now, Mullerian duct is a small duct which is going to be formed in during the embryonic age. So sometimes the question is asked that the seminal vesicle is going to be originated from which duct. So last time also I have told you all one of them, which was Wolffian duct. Do you remember the word Wolffian duct? What has originated from Wolffian duct? Do you recollect that? मैंने तुम्हें बताया था एम्ब्रियोनिक स्टेज में वॉल्फियन डक्ट नाम होता है उसका, जो आगे जाके ये बन जाता है. सिमिलरली मुलेरियन डक्ट है. वेरी गुड. हु इज दिस? ऋषा. वेरी नाइस. ऋषा पटेल, यू आर राइट. यस 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 जूही. बिल्कुल करेक्ट आंसर. करेक्ट माय डियर. करेक्ट. Very good. Yes, Kritika, right. Yes, my dear. So all the answers that you have given are correct. Vas difference and epididymis, right? Well, so here this is Mullerian duct. Now this Mullerian duct is going to give rise to what? Seminal vesicle. Okay. Internally, the seminal vesicle is lined by glandular epithelium. Glandular, जहाँ जहाँ gland ये word आता है ना, वहाँ कुछ ना कुछ secretions होने वाले हैं, ये याद रखिएगा. Okay. So internally it is going to be lined by glandular epithelium, which is going to secrete seminal fluid. Seminal vesicle है तो seminal fluid बनाएंगे, है ना? Which is lubricating, transparent, jelly-like substance, which makes around 70% of the semen. So the total amount of semen में almost 70% is going to be the seminal fluid. Okay. अब इतना क्या होता है? What is going to be there in the seminal fluid? So it is slightly alkaline. Firstly, it is going to be having fructose, and fructose is found in seminal fluid only. It acts as a fuel for the sperm. So you know that fructose is a sugar. Sugar is going to give us energy. In the same way, this fructose of the seminal vesicle का fluid will be giving energy to the spermatozoa. So देखो बेटा, vast difference से ampulla के through ejaculatory duct में spermatozoa आ गए, deposit हो गए, है ना? अब थोड़े lateral side से दो seminal vesicles हैं, तो हर एक side से ऐसे उसके secretions pour हो जाएंगे in the ejaculatory duct. तो ये जो seminal vesicle के जो secretions है, it's going to contain what? One ingredient is fructose, and this fructose is going to provide nourishment to the spermatozoa, who are going to be now coming in contact with each other, mixed together in the ejaculatory duct. Okay, so fructose is found in seminal fluid. It acts as a fuel to sperm. Now you know, like there are sometimes you might have seen the CID episodes, I'm sure. तो कभी कभी क्या होता है ना कि कहीं पर केसेस, रेप केसेस होते हैं, तो उसमें ना दे कलेक्ट द सैंपल एंड दे चेक कि was there something like this event occurred or not. So they check for what? They check for fructose, because fructose is only and only going to be found in the seminal vesicle ka fluid. So in the semen only it's going to be found. Otherwise, fructose in our entire body is not going to be found, and females will not have fructose. It's only in the males, right? So fructose is found in the seminal fluid. It acts as fuel for the sperms. Fibrinogen, prostaglandin, citrate, inositol, and several other proteins are also present in the semen, which are secreted by seminal vesicles. Okay. This is the first one, my dear. This is the first one. This is the first one only, Aditi. Don't worry, I haven't missed anything. Okay. So what is the other secretions of the, or what is the content of the seminal fluids? Fructose, fibrinogen, prostaglandin, inositol, citrate, and many proteins are going to be present. अब fructose का तो काम समझ में आ गया, right? We came to know what is the role of fructose. What is the role of fibrinogen? Now what happens is fibrinogen is going to coagulate the semen. So जो liquid होता है ना, उसको थोड़ा सा सॉलिडिफाई करना पड़ता है, जेली लाइक बनाना पड़ता है, राइट? क्यों? Because the main aim is what of the nature, why the nature is doing all these things, why the nature is you know, making all these things happen. The main aim of nature is perpetuation of species. What is the main aim? Perpetuation of species, that is continuation of species. So what will happen? This particular semen, when is going to get inseminated in the female reproductive tract, right? It should not, you know, it should not be lost. So nature always will support what? Perpetuation of species. So for this particular reason, the liquid might be lost out. So it has to get coagulated. It has to get thickened. So this thickening effect will be due to fibrinogen. Secondly, the fibrinogen will restrict the mobility of the spermatozoa. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है, प्लीज समझिएगा इसको. Firstly, it should not be lost, so it has to be thickened. And second very important point is what, you know, that the spermatozoa's movement should be restricted, because if they move not reaching the reproductive tract of the female, what is the use? They will lose their energy without anything. And if they lose their energy, they won't be having the capacity to travel up to the fallopian tube of the female and reach the ampulla for fertilization. So it's a very long journey for the spermatozoa to reach the ampulla. So to, you know, take up that particular long journey, they require a lot of energy. So if they move a lot, if they you know, like in that liquid semen, if they are going to be continuously, you know, like moving, they lose their energy. And when actual energy will be required, they will not be in the capacity to reach the ampulla, and therefore there won't be fertilization that will take place. So to preserve their energy, rather to conserve their energy, they are, you know, restricted with their movement because of this fibrinogen. So समझा बेटा फिब्रिनोजन कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो सेमाइनल वेसिकल स्पर्म्स जो होते हैं उनकी नरिशमेंट की भी पूरी जिम्मेदारी लेते हैं. वही फ्लूइड जो है, इट इज ऑल्सो गोइंग टू कंटेन फिब्रिनोजन, जो उनकी अनवांटेड मूवमेंट रिस्ट्रिक्ट करेगा एंड एनर्जी उनकी कंजर्व करेगा, है ना. एंड prostaglandin, what is the use of prostaglandin? So prostaglandins are going to be you know, helping, prostaglandins are going to be helping in the uterine contractions, and rather even the vaginal contractions, so that the insemination becomes successful. So these prostaglandins, fibrinogen are very important constituents of the seminal fluid. Okay, citrate inositol are basically, you know, maintaining the pH at 7.3. Alkaline pH को maintain कराने के लिए buffering effect देते हैं. Also they have got certain proteins. So these are all the contents of the seminal fluid, which is made inside a structure called as seminal vesicle. Got this? All of you are okay with the first slide that we have, you know, gone through? No difficulty, no doubts? Yeah, very nice question. Yes, very good question. That why the semen is alkaline? The reason is the female reproductive tract is highly acidic. Okay, so to neutralize the content, the semen has to become alkaline. Right? Repeat for prostaglandin. Yeah, prostaglandins are going to bring, you know, contraction of the vaginal muscles, so that the semen will be, you know, actually able to reach up to the fallopian tube. So ये जो contraction है, that is because of prostaglandins. Once insemination is done, after the insemination, now the semen will be deposited in the reproductive tract of the female, and they will get exposed to the prostaglandins of the semen, which will then cause the muscles to, you know, contract and allow the semen to reach up to the fallopian tube. Got it? So it's for the contraction of the vaginal muscle and the uterine muscles. Is it fine? Okay. The second gland, which is also an accessory gland, is going to be called as prostrate. Citrate, citric acid to maintain the pH. It should not go up to pH 10 also. It should be around 7.3. So it should not exceed also, it should not drop also. So inositol and citrate are going to take control of maintaining the pH at 7.3. Right? Okay. Then we go ahead with the prostate gland. This gland is located below the urinary bladder. It's one alone. It's not a pair. Vasa difference. Pairs. Seminal vesicle. Pair. Prostate gland, one single. Okay. So this gland is located below the urinary bladder. It is unpaired. एक अकेला है वो. And made up of 5 lobes in man. And in rabbit, it has got 3 to 4 lobes. Now, why have they mentioned about the rabbits over here? The reason is this question had been asked earlier that how many lobes of, how many lobed is prostrate gland in man and rabbit. So, if anything they ask on it, looking at the previous year's question papers, you should know it. Okay. Which photo you want me to show? Which photo you want me to show, beta? I have not shown. ये देखो यहाँ पर है ये. You will understand this very clearly. Okay? You will understand this very clearly. I'll talk about it. So here you can see this is the epididymis. This is the vas deferens. See, it's coming over here. It's looping over the ureters. Yeah, see? Correct? So this region, cross section. This region is going to be the ampullary region or the ampulla. Someone was asking me about the ampulla, right? So see, this is the ampulla here. You can see the swollen portion. ये जो है ना बेटा, ये कट किया हुआ है. उसका LS longitudinal section कट किया है, ये intact है. And this is the seminal vesicle. So seminal vesicle and the ampulla are merging together. Can you see over here? ये देखो merge हो चुके हैं सारे के सारे, इधर से भी और इधर से भी. और ये जो है ना एक अकेला, this is the prostrate gland. So this whitish yellowish color wala is the prostate gland, which is going to be 5-lobed structure in man. Okay, got it? This is the prostate here, right? Got it? This thing that you can see over here, this flask-like structure that you can see over here is the ejaculatory duct. ठीक है? आप समझ में आ गए? ये डायग्राम से बहुत क्लियर हो जाएगा, है ना? Yes. Each lobe opens into prostrate urethra through many fine apertures. What is this prostrate urethra? So urethra is going to be divided into 3 sections depending upon its location. So the part of the urethra which is going to be around the prostrate gland will be called as prostatic urethra. So see, each lobe opens into the prostatic urethra through many fine apertures. So छोटे 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 openings होते हैं, वो पांचों lobes मिलकर छोटे छोटे openings बनाते हैं, and they will pour their secretions through these pores or apertures. It secretes slightly alkaline prostatic fluid, which is milky, thick, sticky, or jelly-like. It makes about 30% part of the semen and helps in sperm activation. So see my dears, around 60% to 70% was the seminal fluid. Around 30% is going to be the prostrate fluid. Understood? Got it? So semen is going to have all these fluids ka mixture ultimately, right? So it secretes alkaline prostatic fluid, which is milky, thick, sticky, or jelly-like. It makes about 30% of the semen and helps in sperm activation. Okay, sperm activation का मतलब क्या होता है? That now they will be, the spermatozoa will be in the capacity to actually, move into the reproductive tract of the females once inserted. So to activate them, Prostate gland fluids are important. Well, in the secretion of prostate gland, again see citric acid, calcium, phosphate, clotting enzyme, प्रोफिब्रिनोलाइसिन आर प्रेजेंट. तो अब इनके सिक्रीशंस के बारे में थोड़ा बताती हूँ बेटा. द सिक्रीशन ऑफ द प्रोस्टेट ग्लैंड क्या क्या है? सिट्रिक एसिड, अगेन मेंटेनिंग द पीएच, calcium and phosphate. Okay, calcium ions. Why are calcium ions going to be required? Can anyone tell me the role of calcium ions? What does the calcium does? What is the use of it? Yes, 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 yes. Correct, 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 correct. So calcium and phosphate are going to be, actually the ones which are going to be maintaining the ionic balance as well. Okay. Clotting enzyme. Clotting enzyme again is going to be required for making the semen all the more thicker, which we have already seen that even in the seminal fluid also, there was something called as fibrinogen, which was causing clotting. So even these enzymes are going to help in clotting further. And it has got प्रोफिब्रिनोलाइसिन. बेटा जेन का मतलब है जनरेट करना, लाइस का मतलब है तोड़ देना. अंडरस्टैंड दिस. फिब्रिनोजेन मीन्स कोएगुलेशन को जनरेट करना, कोएगुलेट करना. एंड लाइस करना मतलब कोएगुलेशन तोड़ देना, लिक्विफाई करना. ओके, तो ये देखो, they are going to have profibrinolysin, means not activated. They are not activated. They will only get activated once the insemination is done. Only after insemination, then when the semen has been deposited in the reproductive tract, then the spermatozoa should reach very quickly and reach the fallopian tube. So for this quick movement, to enhance the sluggish movement of the spermatozoa, now they have to be released through that gel. तो वो जेल को लिक्विफाई करने के लिए, वो जेली को लिक्विड बनाने के लिए फिब्रिनोलाइजिन की जरूरत होती है. तो ये फिब्रिनोलाइजिन कहाँ से आएगा? फ्रॉम द प्रोस्ट्रेट ग्लैंड सिक्रीशन which is going to be profibrinolysin. Now profibrinolysin will get activated once the semen has been deposited in the female reproductive tract and become active to make fibrinolysin. The fibrinolysin will dissolve the coagulating factors, liquefy the semen, and allow the spermatozoa to reach in full speed and complete the fertilization event. Okay, got it? So I'll tell you, but I'll tell you. Yes, Dhruv, I'll tell you. So what do you mean by this? You understood? So initially the energy was saved. How the energy was saved of the spermatozoa? By making them fixed in a jelly-like substance so that they don't move too much. They restore their energy. And once in the reproductive tract of the females, now they have to, with full speed, reach up to the fallopian tube का ampullary region जहाँ पर fertilization होता है. So to reach there, the sluggish movement is of no use. The movement has to be very speedy. So to speed up, वो जो जेल है उसको वापस लिक्विड बनाना पड़ता है ना? तो ये लिक्विड बनाने का काम कौन करता है? फिब्रिनोलाइसिन. लाइसिन मीन्स टू ब्रेक, जेन मीन्स टू generate. Okay, so यहाँ पर you all lose your marks in your examinations. They ask that the prostate gland consists of, and in that they will give the option as profibrinolysin and profibrinogen. It's lysine, gen, activated gen, not pro. So fibrinogen is going to be a part of seminal vesicule. Is it okay? Understood the reason for profibrinolysin, right? Calcium and phosphate are required for ionic balance. Okay, they are required for ionic balance, maintaining the cation anion balance. Okay, So you all understood the secretions of prostrate gland and the reasons for these. Anyone having any difficulty? Okay. The secretion of prostrate gland, profibrinolizine, is inactivated enzyme. Okay. When insemination will be completed, that time the semen will get deposited inside the female reproductive tract. Now the semen is jelly-like, so it will take a very long time for the spermatozoa to, uh, you know, like reach that fallopian tube and, fertilize the egg. The movement of the spermatozoa becomes sluggish, slow because of that jelly. So to make it quicker, the jelly needs to be dissolved as liquid. Again, it has to get converted into a liquid. So profibrinolizines will get activated as fibrinolizine and liquefy the semen so that they can with super speed reach the fallopian tube. How will it get activated? Because of the acidic pH. The female reproductive tract is completely acidic. Okay. Maintaining the pH to around 7.3. We don't want it to go beyond 10. Therefore, citric acid is going to be required. Huh. Want the semen to be thick. Exactly. And after that, it becomes liquid. Like very nice. Beta. Bilkul right answer. Bilkul right. Huh. Yeah, same. They are the same. Sperms and spermatozoa is the same. Okay, that's the same. Got this? Anyone with any difficulties, any doubts? How much time? I'll tell you that also. It's given आगे वो भी दिया है. When I'll teach you fertilization events ना, that time I'll tell you in detail what is the time span, how fast or how slow, for how many days the semen is going to be activated, for how many days the egg is going to remain alive or viable. I'll tell about it in the third part of this chapter, that is fertilization. Okay, so this chapter is divided into three parts: male reproductive structure, female reproductive structure, and fertilization and post-fertilization events clubbed together. Okay, fine. So I hope you all have understood this. So see, the secretion of the prostrate gland combines with the secretion of the seminal vesicle, and so the semen again gets coagulated. Okay. In the coagulated semen, the mobility of the sperms is reduced, and so their energy is conserved. After some time of ejaculation, due to fibrinolizine, after some time of ejaculation, that means after the spermatozoa are going to be, out of the human body, only then the fibrinolizine, due to fibrinolizine, the semen again liquefies, and in this semen, now the sperms can move freely. That is what we just now. Coagulate means to become thick. कोएगुलेशन का मतलब होता है टू थिकन, थिक बन जाना. ठीक है, so that's with your prostrate gland बेटा. Anyone else who has got any difficulty with prostrate gland का overall जो हमने देखा है उसमें, seminal vesicles देखे, prostrate gland देखे. Prostrate gland एक ही होता है, right? चलिए, we'll go ahead with the third one and the last gland, that is called as Cowper's gland, or it's also called as bulbourethral. It's single. Cowper's glands are again going to be in pairs. So see, my dear, vast difference in pairs. The two ampulla means they are also a pair of ampulla. Seminal vesicle pair. Cowper's gland pair. Only prostrate gland एक अकेला है. ठीक है? Cowper's gland, it is a pair of glands found on lateral sides of the urethra. It is also called as bulbourethral gland. It is situated in the membranous part of urethra and opens into penile urethra. तो देखो बेटा, वो यूरेथ्रा एक ही है जो प्रोस्ट्रेट ग्लैंड के पास मतलब जो यूरेथ्रा पास होता है अलोंग द प्रोस्टेट ग्लैंड उसको प्रोस्टैटिक यूरेथ्रा कहते हैं। ओके, जो मेम्ब्रेनस पार्ट ऑफ द पेनिस के थ्रू पास होता है उसको मेम्ब्रेनस यूरेथ्रा कहते हैं। And the one which is actually going to pass through the penis will be called as penile urethra. So that is a continuous structure. Urethra is a continuous structure which is going to throw out the urine, right? But the region which is going to be surrounding that urethra, accordingly the names will be given. So you heard the name just now: prostatic urethra, membranous urethra, and penile urethra, just because of the names. उसके आजू बाजू में जो स्ट्रक्चर्स है अकॉर्डिंगली उसको नाम दिया है, right? So where is Cowper's gland position? It is situated in the membranous part of urethra, but it opens into the penile urethra. So look at this diagram, then you will understand what I'm trying to tell you. Look at this, beta. You saw this? ये दिखाई दे रहा है, ये 1 और ये 2. These two are what? These two are bulbourethral. ये देखो, ये इधर से ब्लैक पॉइंट दिखाई दे रहा है, यहाँ पर व्हाइट पॉइंट दिखाई दे रहा है. कैन यू सी दिस? हाँ, तो ये इधर से हमने निकाला है ना, वो स्किन को निकाला है एंड वी आर शोइंग इट. तो हियर दिस इज ब्लैक कलर का पॉइंट वेयर माय कर्सर इज राइट नाउ ब्लॉकिंग दैट पॉइंट. दैट इज द bulbourethral और Cowper's gland. सिमिलरली ये व्हाइट वाला यहाँ पर बेटा है ना, तो है कहाँ पर देखो, दे आर अराउंड द मेम्ब्रेनस यूरेथ्रा. ये जो एरिया है ना, दिस इज मेम्ब्रेनस यूरेथ्रा एंड दे विल ओपन ओवर हियर. इनके जो ओपनिंग है ना, ये इधर है, ये देखो, इज गोइंग टू कम डाउन. कैन यू सी? So their opening is going to be in the penile urethra. So यहाँ से penile urethra start हो जाता है. ये पूरा जो है ये penile urethra है. Okay. So जो urethra prostatic area में है, that will be called as prostatic urethra. जो इधर है, यहाँ पर है, membranes के यहाँ पर, membranous region में, ये membranous region है, उसके पास जो है that is membranous urethra. And इनका opening is this one. ये point से नीचे ये पूरा is going to be the penile urethra. Got it? Fine. Don't forget the names. Very important names. Well, it secretes transparent, again, slimy, jelly-like fluid. It's also going to be slightly alkaline. The pH is around 7.2. This destroys the acidity of the urethra and cleans it for the movement of the sperms. So these all are going to be taking care of the acidity of the this thing. Uh, uh, like the after the urination, the urethra, the male urethra will be acidic. Okay, so through that, if the semen is going to pass, then it will become neutral. And in the neutral condition, if it reaches the female reproductive tract, then it will become acidic. है ना? तो सबसे पहले क्या होता है, ये जो Cowper's gland के secretions है ना, they are going to be, discharged with an intention to clean the male urethra of the acidity, and they also help in the movement of the spermatozoa. ठीक है? All the glands give some, yeah, they are going to give some secretions. They are glands, no? Wherever the word glands come, I told you that they are going to be secreting something, right? What forms the sperm? Oh my God, we have seen the entire beginning से end तक हमने वही देखा है कि the seminiferous tubules are the ones who are going to form, right? How they are going to be formed मैं आज बताऊंगी. I'll tell you all about it today only. That how exactly they are formed and where exactly they are formed, right? आज करेंगे, ठीक है? तो gland समझ में आया बेटा? So Cowper's gland has nothing to do with the female reproductive tract. It is going to clean the male urethra of the acidic conditions, and it will also clean it for the movement of the spermatozoa. इसलिए वो ejaculatory duct के नीचे के तरफ है, अगर आपने लोकेशन देखा है तो. Correct? Got this? Understood about the Cowper's gland as well? So seminal vesicle, prostate gland, Cowper's gland, also called as bulbourethral gland. Any difficulties, any doubts from your end, please tell me. Why there are two I'm not getting your language, my dear. No, no, it's just by passing, flushing out. It's just the flushing out of the remnants of the urine. Why there are two in number? Because it has to be as a pair from the sides of both the pathways. It needs to be clean, right? एक अकेला कोई नहीं कर सकता. Well, so that's about the Cowper's gland. Now here you can see the diagram very clearly. Here they are saying that this is going to be the seminal vesicle. 60% of the semen is going to be made up of seminal vesicle, contains fructose for energy, vitamin C, that is citric acid, that we have already seen, prostaglandin, proseminogelin, that is going to be your fibrinogen, and water. Proseminogelin is fibrinogen. Okay? Yeah, look at this one. This is the Cowper's gland, which makes up 30% of the semen. Enzymes for activating proseminogelin, that is your fibrinolysine, right? Profibrinolysine. Then clot liquefying enzymes, that is your serine, prostase. These are the enzymes. Okay, water. Look at this bulbourethral gland here. It's a lubricant, acid neutralizing buffer, and water. So these are going to be the specific accessory glands which are seen in every प्रोस्टेट. एक ही होता है बेटा, मैंने ऊपर भी बताया. प्रोस्टेट ये एक ही है, ये एक ही जो येलो कलर का पीछे से एक सिंगल यूनिट है वो प्रोस्टेट है. इट इज वन सिंगल. Cowper are two, seminal vesicles are two, ampulla are two. I've already told you, bulbourethral and Cowper is the same. Okay, so forget about this. This is not in your syllabus, so don't worry about it. I'll delete that slide eventually. Okay. So semen is what? Sperm. Huh. Acha, okay, fine. Plus accessory reproductive gland fluids. So seminal fluid, prostate fluid, Cowper's fluid. Together is going to form the semen. Volume is around 3 to 4 ml. Normal sperm count is going to be 20 to 120 million per ml. There is a condition wherein the amount of semen production is less. It is less than 20 million sperms which will be produced per ml. We call the disorder as oligospermia. What we call it as? Oligospermia. Azoospermia is a condition wherein spermatozoas will never be formed. Okay, so either complete absence or near absence of spermatozoa, that person will be sterile. That man cannot ever become a father, right? That person will be suffering from azoospermia. A means absent. Okay, azoospermia means absence of spermatozoa. Oligospermia means less of spermatozoa. And normal condition is going to be around 20 to 120 million sperms have to be produced per ml. Got this? Fine. Understood this? Any difficulty? Any difficulty in understanding these terms? It has been asked many times. Oligospermia is less than 20 million spermatozoa. Less than 20 million. Huh. Yes, very good question again. Yes, semen is the fluid in which all the sperms and secretions of the glands are going to be present. Yes. Yeah. Why so many spermatozoa are required? Egg, only one is going to be utilized for fertilization of the egg, because egg is going to be only one. So technically there has to be only one sperm, but there are so many because I'll tell you this when I'll be explaining the part of fertilization. How maximum sperms are lost in transit. Many of them, इनकी एनर्जी इतनी कम हो जाती है कि वो sluggish हो जाते हैं. हाँ, they die during their travel. उनकी एनर्जी खत्म हो जाती है। कोई कोई जो होते हैं वो डिफेक्टिव होते हैं, तो डिफेक्टिव को ऑटोमेटिकली एलिमिनेट किया जाता है। रेस होती है, रेस, सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट। द फिटेस्ट ऑफ सो मेनी स्पर्म्स में से सिर्फ एक जो फिटेस्ट है विल बी केपेबल ऑफ फर्टिलाइजिंग द एग। ओके, हाँ, एज़ोस्पर्मिया कंडीशन इज नेचुरल, यस यस, इट इज नेचुरल, इट इज नेचुरली अकरिंग, यस। हाँ, वेरी नाइस आंसर ध्रुव, यस। Ratio of sperm, no, at the time of fertilization one egg one sperm. Okay, yeah. So that's about the accessory glands. Now we come to the male reproductive structures, externals. So let us see. The first is going to be called as the penis. Urethra continues in a muscular and tubular organ called as the penis. It's a muscular and tubular organ. Means it's made up of muscles. It's made up of muscles. Terminal part of shaft of penis is bulging, which is called as glans penis. Here in the diagram, you can see this very clearly. This is the bulging portion of the penis, which is going to be called as the glans penis or penis glans. You can see over here this entire bulged part, right? The glans penis is going to be covered by a retractable skin. Okay, so it's going to be covered by a movable or retractable skin called as prepuce or foreskin. So it's a very thin, covering over this bulged part. This thin covering is going to be called as prepuce, or it's going to be called as foreskin. Fine. So this is going to be the entire, like this is going to be the penis, which is going to have a bulging, tapering terminal end, and this bulging end will be called as glans, which will be having a covering of prepuce or foreskin. Fine. A special type of sebaceous gland is found on the prepuce. Sebaceous means oil secreting. Okay, so a special type of sebaceous gland is found on the prepuce called as the preputial gland, which secretes smegma. So smegma is going to be something which is oily and having a consistency somewhat waxy substance. That's called as smegma. So these things, na beta, not given in your books about smegma, not given about the sebaceous gland, but they have asked several times. Okay. अरे नहीं नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता है बाबा कृष्णा इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट वे ट्विंस के अलग अलग रीजंस है it's not because there are two sperms which are going to be perfect. No, there are many different reasons for it. Okay, removal of prepuce by surgery is called as circumcision. So sometimes you know what happens because of this continuous accumulation of smegma, the glans penis is more prone to bacterial infection or fungal infection. Okay, now these bacterial infections or these fungal infections, now if they are recurrent, it's going to be very there's a lot of irritation and sometimes even pain swelling in that zone. And as it is, the zone is highly like a sensitive area. So if there is going to be continuous recurring infections in that area due to the deposition of the smegma, then many a times this foreskin has to be removed. Okay, movable or retractable, it can slide up and down. It can slide up and down. Okay, so that particular skin needs to be taken out. It's just like a very thin membrane which just needs to be cut out. It's like very simple. It's not like वो operation करके नहीं है, the stitches which is नहीं डालने होते हैं. It's just the removal of the prepuce or the foreskin. If it's done in young age, early age, छोटे बच्चे होते हैं वो टाइम पे अगर किया तो it's not going to be that painful also. But sometimes what happens during the adolescent, your age especially, and even later on, the smegma needs to be cleaned very nicely. And if that smegma is not going to be cleaned, na, it's going to attract loads of microbes. and because of these microbes now, then there are going to be urinary tract infections and so on. So it's then in such cases now the doctors would recommend that go for circumcision, that is removal of the prepuce. Yeah. Sometimes outgrowth forms on it. Sometimes it becomes thickened. It's it's not movable. It becomes very painful. Because of all these things, sometimes circumcision is recommended by the doctors. Okay, it's very simple thing. It's not like a very big operation sort of a thing, right? Prepuce is attached to the base of the glans with the help of an elastic cord-like membrane called as frenulum prepuce. So just like how we have got frenulum in our tongue, when you take out your tongue ना ऊपर करोगे ना तो एक पतला सा फ्लैप दिखाई देता है टंग के नीचे आपके, वैसा ही एक इलास्टिक फ्लैप होता है, इलास्टिक कॉर्ड होता है on the glands to which this prepuce is attached, right? Penis is an erectile copulatory intermittent organ. Yeah, so it's going to be a copulatory organ. Intermittent means the one which is going to be acting like a bridge for deposition of the male gametes to reach the female gametes. Okay. Root of penis containing muscles is called as crura. Now again, this was a question this was asked. So root of the penis containing muscles will be called as what? Crura. Is it fine? So this is how the copulatory organ has been described. Any difficulty in understanding any point over here? Anyone who have got any difficulty, beta? So in this you can see this is the urethral opening. ये urethral opening है यहाँ पर, है ना? ये देखिए, got it? अब और भी क्लियर हो जाएगा आप लोग को ये देखो, this is the scrotal sac, this is the testes, this is the epididymis. From epididymis, this is going to be the vast difference. You can see how it is moving, right? It is reaching at a point where the seminal vesicles are also going to be present. This will be a common ejaculatory duct present over here. Prostrate gland is here. You can see the prostrate gland on the back side, पीछे की तरफ, है ना? This is going to be continued. So ये देखो, ये जो है ये continuous दिखाई दे रहा है आपको यहाँ पर clearly, right? For this is going to be the urinary bladder. Pubic symphysis is the joint. Now what is this? I'll tell you of course. Okay. What you want me to explain, beta? Frenulum prepuce. Frenulum prepuce is nothing. Just like how our tongue is attached to our jaw na, with the help of that flap. You all can feel it. Just take your tongue up and you can see a flap. उसको भी हम frenulum ही कहते हैं. वैसे ही even the penis is going to have that glans penis is going to have this particular frenulum prepuce जिधर attachment of the foreskin हो जाएगा. So it's attached to the frenulum. Got it? Where is the attachment? With the frenulum prepuce. It's a membrane. पतला सा membrane है. Okay? Yeah. Then let us see the histology of penis. Histology means internal structure, tissue structure. So the body of the penis, it's composed of 3 longitudinal cylindrical masses. In the diagrams, crura cannot be seen in diagram. They are muscles internally. Okay? तो ये देखो, ये जो है यहाँ पर देखो, can you see this? First circle, second circle and third circle. ये 3 circles दिखाई दे रहे हैं आपको? या तो ये कैसे है? ये longitudinal masses है, right? उसका cross section हम देख रहे हैं. We are looking at the cross section, right? So see, these are the longitudinal cylindrical masses. इधर से अंदर की तरफ ऐसे लंबे हैं, ऐसे इमेजिन कर लो, है ना? These masses are the right and the left corpora cavernosa and the medium corpora spongiosum. So here you can very well see these two sideways, ये जो दो है, they are corpora cavernosa and this is corpora spongiosum. Okay, So corpora cavernosa, two at sides, left and right, and the central one, median बोलते हैं हम लोग उसको. The middle one is going to be the corpora spongiosum. Please remember the names, very important. The two corpora cavernosa do not reach the end of the penis. So they are going to be, like this. ये ऐसे मेरे fingers दिखाई दे रहे हैं. Can you see my three fingers? You can see your own also, right? So these two are going to be, entire but not reaching the end, right? These two are going to be on the sides, not reaching the end, but spongiosum is going to reach the terminal end. So each of them terminates under the cover of the glans penis. Okay. While the corpus spongiosum continues further, its terminal part is expanded to form conical enlargement called as glans penis. So glans penis is actually what? It's nothing but it is going to be the extension of corpora spongiosum. While corpora cavernosa जो है वो उसके थोड़े से पहले ही एंड हो जाते हैं. वो टर्मिनल एंड के थोड़े से पीछे रह जाते हैं, वो उधर उनका एंडिंग है. ठीक है. थ्रू आउट इट्स होल लेंथ इट इज ट्रांसवर्स्ड बाय द यूरेथ्रा. मतलब दिस, ये जो डायग्राम है, एंटायर जो पूरा का पूरा कॉर्पोरा कैवर्नोसा, कॉर्पोरा स्पॉन्जियोसम, उनके बराबर सेंटर में से यूरेथ्रा इज गोइंग टू बी पास. सो यू कैन सी दिस, ये दिखाई दे रहा है, दिस इज द यूरेथ्रा. गॉट इट? समझा? ट्रैवर्स मींस उनके थ्रू पास होके यूरेथ्रा आता है. The base of the glans penis has projecting margin, that is going to be the corona glandis. So projecting margin means it's going to be the tip, the terminal end, which is going to be corona glandis. Corona बोलते ही डर लगता है. Corona का मतलब है crown like. What do you mean by the word corona? Crown like. So it appears like a crown, so it's called as corona glandis. ठीक है? Look at these. Corpora cavernosum. Corpora cavernosum. So together we call them as corpora cavernosa. This is the skin. Superficial fascia. Fascia means a layer. Cavernosa का artery. ये देखो इधर artery है for blood supply, है ना? Bulbo cavernosa artery, anterior branch. Corpora corpus spongiosum. यहाँ पर है urethra. Urethra is a common pathway. I have already told you all. Urethra is a common pathway for the passage of urine as well as semen. Deep fascia, deep layer, areolar tissue, बाहर की तरफ है. Deep dorsal vein, superficial vein, arteries. ये सारे arteries and veins present होती ही है हर एक अपने body structure में, हाँ, right? यहाँ पर position of glans penis is not going to be visible. It is going to be present over here, over the corpus spongiosum. Correct? Right? Yeah. Understood this? Anyone having difficulty? Corpora cavernosa, corpus spongiosum, very important 3 words. Anybody having any difficulty with this, Bacha? Understood? Very good. Okay. Last point. External opening of penis is called as penile meatus. Huh? Penile meatus means opening of the penis through which the urethra, whatever it is carrying, will be thrown out of the body. Okay. Yeah. Now here there's something which is 3 circles in the diagram. Okay. See this. This is the first one. This is corpora cavernosum. One more corpora cavernosum. Together we call them as corpora cavernosa. And this is corpus spongiosum. Corpus spongiosum. Okay. Second last point is what? The base of the glans penis is projecting margin. From the sideways is going to have a lip-like structure, fine, thin structure, which is going to be called as corona glandis. It looks like a crown internally. So well, then we come to something called as the erection of the penile tissue, how it's going to be taking place. Erection of the penis is purely vascular phenomena. What do you mean by vascular? Blood. So the erection is only and only a phenomena of the blood filling up the empty cavities. So there is going to be something called as, empty cavities, or we call them as sinus. In science, the empty cavities को we call as sinus. So these sinuses would be filled with blood, due to which, due to which the entire, it's going to become turgid, na? The cavities were empty, so they were flaccid. Once the blood will gush into it, the blood will gush inside that cavities and fill up the cavities. They'll become turgid. This turgidity is called as erection. Okay, so it's purely vascular phenomena, and it's controlled by ANS. What do you mean by the word ANS? What is ANS? Very good. Yes, very nice, Siddhika. Very nice. Autonomic nervous system. Excellent. So it's controlled by ANS. It occurs due to increase of blood supply due to dilation of the penile arteries, causing enlargement and hardening of the penis. So what is going to happen? There is going to be the sinuses will dilate. They will become large, and more blood will get filled into it. And as more and more blood gets pumped into it, it's going to cause hardening. Okay. During this time, the muscles of crura are relaxed. Of course, they have to be relaxed because otherwise it will be very, very painful, right? So if this is also going to be crura muscles are also contracted, and the blood flow is also going to be maximum, it's going to be very painful. So that time they are going to be relaxed. Okay, look at this. This is the main dorsal artery. You can see it, right? Then you can see this spongiosum, corpus spongiosum, correct? Corpora cavernosa, two on the sides and one at the center. ये देखो हर जगह पर क्या हो रहा है बेटा, ब्लड वेसल्स दिखाई दे रहे हैं आपको, right? Yeah, so this is going to be the blood vessels. This is the cavernosa artery, corpora cavernosa artery. It's also going to be filled with blood. It's going to be filled with blood, right? Common penile artery. ये देखो सब जगह पर ब्लड फ्लो ही ब्लड फ्लो है. एंड ये जो ग्लांस है, ये जो ग्लांस है, ये ग्लांस, यहाँ पर ग्लांस पेनिस जिसको हमने बोला था ऑलरेडी, आई हैव एक्सप्लेन. सो इधर तक ब्लड सप्लाई आता है, और इधर जो मसल्स है ना, यहाँ पर जो मसल्स होते हैं ना इधर, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी द क्रूरा मसल्स. दे आर गोइंग टू बी रिलैक्स्ड. अगर वो कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड रहेंगे ना तो ब्लड फ्लो अंदर आ नहीं पाएगा. सो वो रिलैक्स होते हैं, सो दैट द ब्लड विल gush inside. So they are saying during this time the muscles of crura are relaxed. So because they are relaxed, blood can enter. If they were contracted, blood could not enter. यहाँ पर है बेटा, मसल्स नहीं दिखाई देते हैं, यहाँ पर होते हैं वो. ओके, यहाँ पर सराउंडिंग सर्कुलर, राइट? ओके बेटा, got this? Anyone having difficulty with this particular section? है कोई डिफिकल्टी है? Understanding everything? Good. I'll just remove this block because it's disturbing me. So just remove this block. Okay. Now we come to, yes, it's gushing of the blood. Yes, my dear. Okay. I don't know, it comes in between. If someone raises the hand ना तो वो बीच में वो आता है box. Okay. So now we have to understand the most important and the most interesting part, that is how actually the spermatozoa are being formed. कैसे बनते हैं स्पर्म्स? हमने ये देखा कि उनको सपोर्ट करने के लिए सेमाइनल वेसिकल के सिक्रीशंस है, प्रोस्ट्रेट ग्लैंड के सिक्रीशंस है, काउपर्स ग्लैंड के सिक्रीशंस है ना। हमने पूरी कहानी देखी, लेकिन हमने यही नहीं देखा है कि स्पर्म्स कैसे बनते हैं, right? So let us understand that how this process is actually going to occur. To understand, again this block has come up. To understand this particular thing, we have to first understand the histology of seminiferous tubules. Okay, so let us understand the histology of seminiferous tubules. इसी का पार्ट है हाँ स्पर्म्स कैसे बनते हैं करके. It's a part of this only. Look at it. Outer surface of seminiferous tubules is composed of white fibrous connective tissues called as tunica propria. क्या नाम है? Tunica propria. ठीक है. So बाहर से जो seminal vesicles है, they are going to be covered with fibrous connective tissue, and this layer will be called as tunica propria. While the inner surface, तो ये outer surface है अपना, ये inner surface है ना. तो वैसे ही seminal tubes, seminal बोल रही हूँ, seminiferous tubules, even they'll have outer and inner layer. So outer layer is simple fibrous connective tissue. Inner layer is going to be made up of cuboidal, germinal, epithelium. Please remember this word. Cuboidal means the shape will be like cube. Germinal means the one which is going to germinate, in the sense grow. Epithelium. So internal lining is going to be cuboidal, germinal, epithelium. Okay. This epithelium is made up of spermatogenic cells which form sperms by spermatogenesis. अब ये जो epithelium है, ये जो cuboidal germinal epithelium है, it is nothing but those cells of the cuboidal germinal epithelium will be called as spermatogenic cells. So cuboidal germinal epithelium is a tissue. Correct? It's a tissue. Individual cell of this cuboidal germinal epithelial tissue will be called as spermatogenic cells. Language समझ में आ गई? Right? Which forms sperm by spermatogenesis. So the process of forming spermatozoa is spermatogenesis. Right? So from where they are going to be formed? So they are going to be formed from the spermatogonal cells. कहाँ है spermatogonal cells? These are going to be nothing but the cells of the cuboidal germinal epithelium. Germinal is the one which is going to germinate to make sperms. Therefore, it's germinal. Okay. In between this cuboidal germinal cell, there are going to be tall columnar cells. See, some columnar cells are found in the layer of the germinal epithelium, which are going to be called as Sertoli cells. तो cuboidal cells के बीच में ऐसे मतलब randomly, it's not fixed. Randomly there is going to be your tall columnar cells, which will be called as Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells provide nutrition to the sperm, so they are also called as subtentacular cells or sustentacular cells or nurse cells. They exclusively are a part of mammals. They are going to be a part of mammalian cells. Other functions of Sertoli cells, they phagocyte the injured or the dead sperms. तो Sertoli cells जो है ना, वो injured sperm, dead sperms को निगल लेता है, phagocyte कर लेता है उसको. Okay? They are the basis of blood testis barrier. Blood testis barrier क्या है वो आगे आएगा. I'll tell you what it is. Sertoli cells produce inhibin, again a very important component. जब तक inhibin नहीं बनेगा तब तक वो प्रोसेस जो आगे मैं बताऊंगी ना वो कंटिन्यूसली चलता रहेगा. So Sertoli cells are very very important. Okay? Yeah. हाँ. Sperms are formed by spermatogonic cells. Yes. You're right then. Who is this? Divya. Yes, my dear. Very correct. Spermatogonic cells will eventually get converted into sperm cells or the sperms. How? I'll tell you. Okay. Now here, please forget about those next points. Look at this. This is going to be what? Tunica albuginea. You already know what is tunica albuginea. You know or you don't know? You remember what is tunica albuginea? Ha. Yes. Very good. Very good, Dwayne. Yes, Mr. Yes, Aditi. Correct answer. So this is going to be your tunica albuginea, right? This is going to be the connective tissue. Okay. Then look over here. This is one seminiferous tubule. This is second seminiferous tubule. This is third seminiferous tubule. So we saw there are 2 to 3 seminiferous tubules present inside each lobule of the testes. You recollect that? Last lecture? Huh. So each lobule has got 2 to 3 seminiferous tubules. So this is one seminiferous tubule. This is second seminiferous tubule. This is third seminiferous tubule. All are held inside one lobule. Very good. Who is this, Aditi? Perfect answer, my dear. Very good. Correct answer. है ना? So I'll just go back few slides so that you will recollect what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? Otherwise, context नहीं लगेगा तो वापस हवे में क्या बोल रही है मैं कुछ नहीं समझ में आ रहा है ऐसा ना हो. I'll show. हाँ. So this is your one lobule, right? In one lobule you have got 2 to 3 seminiferous tubules. Can you see? तो हमने क्या किया अभी हमने है ना टीएस लिया है क्रॉस सेक्शन लिया है एक लोब्यूल का तो एक लोब्यूल का क्रॉस सेक्शन लेने के बाद हमें वो 3 सेमिनिफेरस ट्यूब्यूल्स दिखाई दे रहे हैं हाँ हाँ कि नहीं समझा yes so we have taken a cross section of one of the lobules and we can see these seminiferous tubules. Now in this seminiferous tubules as I said this inner layer of covering can you see this cell's cube shape. This is what your cuboidal germinal epithelium, which is having individual cells which will be called as spermatogonal cells. In between, you have got these tall columnar cells, these violet color के cells. Can you see? These violet colored cells are Sertoli cells. And Sertoli cells का main function क्या है? To provide nourishment to the developing for the developing spermatozoa. Second function, to phagocytose the dead sperms and damaged or injured or malfunctioning sperms. उनको phagocytose कर लेने का. It acts as blood testes barrier. Fine. So what do you mean by this? No blood will be entering or surpassing or leaking into the testes. Fine. And it is also going to make inhibin का और आगे आएगा. So these are the 4 functions which you need to remember about these violet color के लंबे लंबे cells दिखाई दे रहा है ना आपको हर एक जगह पर, right? और ये जो छोटे 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 cuboidal cells internal lining के हैं, that is your germinal epithelium. Okay? Yes, yes, Krishna, you are right, my dear. Perfect answer. Okay? So you will understand about this. इधर तक कुछ difficulty है? The violet cells are going to be the Sertoli cells. I guess they have labeled it. They haven't labeled. Okay. The violet color cells are Sertoli cells. These are the Sertoli cells. These violet ones. Okay. They are Sertoli cells. Now, some endocrine cells are found between seminiferous tubules in the intertubular space. Otherwise, there will be leakage of blood ना hemorrhage हो जाएगा. Blood hemorrhage हो जाएगा. So it should not leak. It should not come out of any, pipeline. Pipeline फूट जाएगी तो leakage. है ना? Yeah. Some endocrine cells are found between seminiferous tubules in intertubular space and are called as interstitial cells or Leydig cells. So you can see this. ये देखो group of cells बीच बीच में. Can you see? These are going to be called as the Leydig cells, or they are called as interstitial cells. Where are the interstitial cells? They are going to be present in the intertubular space. तो दो सेमिनिफेरस ट्यूब्यूल्स के बीच का जो एरिया है ना, उधर ये लेडिक सेल्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं. ये लेडिक सेल्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. क्यों? लेडिक सेल सिक्रीट टेस्टोस्टेरॉन. सो इफ देयर इज नो लेडिक सेल, टेस्टोस्टेरॉन सिक्रीशन नहीं हो पाएगा. ओके. The testosterone from the Leydig cells enters the seminiferous tubules by diffusion under the effect of ABP and promotes spermatogenesis. What is ABP? I'll tell you. Don't worry. So this testosterone will be synthesized over here, and the testosterone will move from higher concentration to the lower concentration by the process of diffusion. And now the testosterone will enter here inside the seminiferous tubule. तो seminiferous tubule के अंदर जब तक required amount of testosterone नहीं आता है ना बेटा, तब तक we cannot say the male has reached the puberty. Okay. So formation of testosterone to enter into the seminiferous tubule so that the cuboidal germinal epithelium will start differentiating to form the spermatozoa. Okay, got it? Ha, yes. Okay, so understood about this? You want me to repeat? Okay, I'll repeat. Pay attention. Pay attention. The Leydig cell will make testosterone. There will be high concentration of testosterone over there, right? So movement of testosterone from higher concentration to the seminiferous tubule where there is very low, actually initially there is no testosterone. Eventually it will be low testosterone, because of which the testosterone will start moving inside the seminiferous tubule by the process of diffusion. Of course, for this particular journey of the testosterone to move from the Leydig cell into the seminiferous tubule requires the particular protein, that is your ABP. Okay, and it will then promote the formation of sperms. That is, it will promote spermatogenesis. Okay. Yes, Aditi, you are right. Then it will be like, that person will be having difficulty in having, normal sperm count. Correct. I'll tell you what is ABP. I'll tell you. Just first understand the position of the Leydig cells. Leydig cells are not present inside the seminiferous tubule. Leydig cells are present between two seminiferous tubules inside the lobule. So the lobules will be having seminiferous tubule. एंड सेमिनिफेरस ट्यूब्यूल्स के दो सेमिनिफेरस ट्यूब्यूल्स के बीच में जो गैप है वहां पर होते हैं अपने लेडिक सेल्स. ठीक है. ओके, सो let us come to something called as how this particular, I'll tell you what is ABP also. आगे है, that is androgen binding protein. ABP का full form is androgen binding protein. Okay. Well, so that is about the positions and the histology. How does it take place? And now we are going to see the process. So formation of gametes, which is also called as gametogenesis. Follicle stimulating hormone stimulates gametogenesis. Now see, follicle stimulating hormone is abbreviated as FSH. Huh. Exactly. Very good, Zoe. So Leydig cells are going to be present. Yeah, tunica vasculosa of each lobule. Okay. Yeah. Follicle stimulating hormone is abbreviated as FSH. It is the one who is going to stimulate gametogenesis. Besides this FSH, vitamin E is very important for gametogenesis. This question has been asked so many times, and many of the times students don't know which is the vitamin. They just mark any XYZ A B C D कोई भी mark करके आते हैं बेटा. It's vitamin E. E stands for fertility. E is for fertility. So besides the FSH, which vitamin is required? Vitamin E is required. Okay. Deficiency of vitamin E leads to sterility. Yeah, because as I said, E is for fertility. If E is not going to be present in good amount, it will lead to sterility. Vitamin A is required for the formation of healthy gametes. So E and A are very important. Okay? Gametogenesis can be divided into three stages: multiplication phase, growth phase, and maturation phase. So, to understand that how sperms are going to be formed, they have been divided into three stages: multiplication, growth, maturation. ठीक है? हाँ, what's your doubt? हाँ, FSH is secreted by the pituitary gland. बिल्कुल correct answer. बिल्कुल correct. So first we're going to go ahead with the multiplication phase. Okay? Spermatogenesis is formation of sperms. They are formed in the wall of the seminiferous tubules of the testes. An adult male produces 10 raised to 12 to 10 raised to 13 sperms per day. Imagine the enormous number, right? They then move to the epididymis for further maturation and storage. We know epididymis, we have already studied about it. From the epididymis, they are carried through the vasa differentia to reach the ejaculatory duct. So this is the journey that how they are going to be moving into the ejaculatory duct. If you look at this particular diagram, they have taken a cross section and they are showing this. See, this is going to be the this one, अपना germinal cuboidal epithelium, right? Or spermatogonial cells, we can call them. They will get converted into something called, yeah, this is the Sertoli cell. Look at this. This is the primary spermatocyte. Okay. This is the secondary spermatocyte. This is the spermatid, and this is the spermatozoa. There are, few stages. Names are different. Everything is same. Don't worry about this right now. I'll explain in a very simplified manner. So just look at it. Spermatogenesis is a part of multiplication phase. Yes, correct. अब ना बेटा, आपने ऑलरेडी माइटोसिस और मियोसिस का चैप्टर पढ़ा हुआ है ना, तो आपको ये अभी बहुत सिंपल लगेगा और बहुत इजी लगेगा. I had told you all that time only that if you have understood meiosis very correctly, it will help you all in understanding this particular chapter very precisely. So the same thing is going to be repeated over here. So please pay attention. Steps involved in spermatogenesis. The spermatogonia type A or the germ cells have 44 plus X plus Y as its complement. 44 autosomes plus XY, which are going to be the sex chromosome. ऐसे total 46 chromosome होंगे मेल में, बराबर है ना? Right now? Yes. Now, these spermatogonia type A will divide mitotically to give rise to more spermatogonia of type A. This is called as spermatogenic lineage. That means there is, suppose there are 1000 spermatogonia type A cells, right? They will undergo mitosis to form double the number of spermatogonia type A, right? And also spermatogonia of type B. Now, what is this type A and what is this type B? If you don't understand this particular thing, आगे की पूरी कहानी सर के ऊपर. तो सर के अंदर अपने को डालनी है ये सारी कहानी. So how it is going to be? See, look at it. This is going to be your spermatogonium type A, right? 44 plus XY. I'll just move my video over here. Yeah, 44 plus XY. This will undergo mitosis. This will undergo mitosis. ये देखो, to make two daughter cells. You know, mitosis का product क्या है? Equational division. So it's going to have the same composition as that of the parent cell. Correct? So 44 plus X plus Y, 44 plus X plus Y, 44 plus X plus Y. So these are two daughter cells. Out of these two daughter cells, one will again enter into second mitosis, while one will enter into growth. So दो simultaneous daughter cells बने, एक वापस cell division में चला गया, दूसरा ग्रो होने लगा। तो जो वापस माइटोसिस के लिए चला गया ना, उसको हम कहेंगे टाइप ए। और जो टाइप ए से ओरिजिनेट हुआ है लेकिन अभी ग्रोथ कर रहा है और डिवीजन स्टॉप कर रहा है, इट इज डिफरेंशिएटिंग। द डिफरेंशिएटिंग will be called as spermatogonium type B. So have you all understood this? So if there are, say, 10,000 spermatogonium type A cells, they'll make 20,000 spermatogonium type A cells, out of which few cells will again act as parental cells, again undergo mitosis, while few will start maturing, they will start growing. Any confusion with type A, type B? The one which are growing will be type B. The one which are again undergoing cell division will be type A. Any difficulty? Any difficulty, beta? Hmm? समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं समझ में आ रहा है? Got it? So see, this is in the multiplication phase. So they are multiplying. Again and again they are multiplying. Again and again multiplying. When this is entering the growth. So this is your growth phase. Okay? So it is undergoing growth. Now what will happen? After it has completed the growth, then you can see this name has changed. It has completely grown now. It is fully grown. We call it as primary spermatocyte. So after mitosis, the daughter cell, which grows to its complete size, matures, will now be called as primary spermatocyte. So we began our journey with spermatogonium type A. It made two daughter cells. One went into mitosis again, which was again called as type A only. The other started to grow. The one which is growing will be called as type B. After the complete growth has taken place of this type B, we now rename it as primary spermatocyte. Have you all understood? Any problem? No? Look at it. The spermatogonia type B enlarges to form primary spermatocyte. The primary spermatocyte now will act as the cell to undergo meiosis. Okay, so the primary spermatocyte now divides so that each of the two secondary spermatocytes can be formed. So see बेटा, ये अभी meiosis 1 है, आपको already meiosis 1 क्या है पता है. So this will undergo meiosis 1. So first meiotic division is reduction division. You remember? 23 dyads, right? So they are going to form first meiotic division के बाद ये एक secondary spermatocyte बना, ये दूसरा secondary spermatocyte बना. समझा? So we begin where spermatogonium type A divided as with mitosis, made two daughter cells. One daughter cell again went into mitotic division type A. Other daughter cell began to grow type B. Fully grown type B will be called as primary spermatocyte. Primary spermatocyte will undergo meiosis 1 to form two daughter cells. These two daughter cells will be called as secondary spermatocyte with half the number of chromosomes but double the amount of DNA. Now you know this, right? So 22 autosomes plus X, 22 autosomes plus Y. Huh. What is the difference between type A and B? Type A will continuously go on undergoing mitosis, while type B will lose the capacity to divide and will start growing. Okay? The growth of spermatogonium type B is the interphase. Both will undergo interphase. Both will undergo interphase. Type B has now not going to go into the M phase. It's not going to go into the M phase. Mitosis नहीं करेगा. ठीक है? Got it? Yeah. So now what has happened? See, half the number of chromosomes, 23 chromosomes, 22 autosomes plus 1 X, 23, 22 autosomes plus 1 Y, 23. So the two daughter cells will have 23 chromosomes each. Correct? Understood? So these structures, which will be having half the number of chromosomes, but they are still dyads, double the amount of DNA, will be called as secondary spermatocyte. Correct? Yes. Now these secondary spermatocytes will further undergo meiosis too. Correct? So they will give rise to what? 23 haploids, monads. 23 haploids, monads. 23 haploids, monads. 23 haploids, monads. And once they are going to be 4 haploids, now we will call them as spermatid. क्या कहते हैं हम इनको? Spermatid. नाम चेंज हो रहा है बेटा, सिर्फ प्रोसेस सेम है. So spermatogonia type A divides to form two daughter cells. One daughter cell keeps on undergoing mitosis. It will be not changing any name. It will be called as type A. The other daughter cell which is produced will increase in size, which will be called as type B. After completion of the increase in size, now it will be called as primary spermatocyte, which is ready to enter meiosis 1. Now, once it enters meiosis 1, it will undergo the prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1, cytokinesis 1 to form two daughter cells, which will be having half the number of chromosomes but double the amount of DNA, which will be called as secondary spermatocytes. Secondary spermatocytes will undergo meiosis 2 and they will form 4 haploids, each monads, which will be called as spermatid. So, spermatogonia type A, spermatogonia type B, primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, spermatid. ये 5 के 5 नाम याद हो गए तुम्हें? Is there any difficulty in understanding these? See, it is so much connected ना, इसीलिए मैंने ये चैप्टर इमीडिएटली अभी आपको पढ़ाने को स्टार्ट किया, बिकॉज meiosis and mitosis is very fresh in your mind, so that you can easily correlate the things. Otherwise, ये वापस कोरिलेशन कराने के लिए मुझे वापस पूरा meiosis पढ़ाना पड़ेगा. Spermatids are going to be the products of second meiotic division. Meiosis 2 के बाद जो 4 haploids मिलते हैं ना, उनको हम कहते हैं spermatid. What are they? They are half in number, so they are haploid, and the amount of DNA is also now half. I mean, reduced to the original content. So it is a monad. So 23 monads, 23 monads, 23 monads, 23 monads. Okay, we call them as spermatids. Did you all understand this? See, each secondary spermatocyte has 22 X or 22 plus Y chromosome. It divides to form two spermatids. This second meiotic division, and this time there is no reduction in chromosome number. Each spermatid हाँ अभी spermatid की जर्नी समझ में आ गई? किसी को डिफिकल्टी है spermatid तक की? Anyone who has got any difficulty in understanding these points? Come on, please tell me. No difficulty? All understood? Oh, that's nice. So let us understand what will happen after the spermatid. Each spermatid gradually changes its shape to become spermatozoa, means to form a sperm. So just by changing the shape of the spermatid, a sperm is formed. But what all events are occurring for these changes? ऐसे क्या changes होते हैं उस spermatid में कि अब वो sperm बन जाएगा, है ना? So the circular spermatid gets transformed into a spermatozoon, which is called by the process of spermiogenesis or spermatolysis. Means how this spermatid gets converted into a sperm, that process is called as spermiogenesis, जो हम आगे देखेंगे. लेकिन उसके पहले ये सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट वाली स्लाइड है. इसमें से कोई भी पॉइंट ना समझा हो तो बताना, मैं एक बार रिपीट कर रही हूँ प्रोसेस को. The seminiferous tubules are lined by cuboidal germinal epithelial tissue. The cells of this tissue are called as spermatogonal cells. The spermatogonal cells which undergo mitosis will be called as type A, while the spermatogonal cells which will grow and then undergo meiosis will be called as type B. The type B is going to be called as spermatogonal type B when it is in the process of growing. Once it has completed the growth, we call this structure as primary spermatocyte. The primary spermatocyte undergoes first meiotic division to form two secondary spermatocytes. The secondary spermatocytes will contain half the number of chromosomes, but the amount of DNA is still double. Thus, the secondary spermatocytes will then undergo meiosis too to form four haploid cells, which will be called as spermatids. The spermatids are then going to get converted into or transformed into sperms or spermatozoa by the process of spermiogenesis. Anyone who is having any conceptual doubt in your mind? Anyone having any conceptual doubts, my dears? Can I go ahead? हाँ या ना? है कोई डिफिकल्टी है? हाँ, ये मैं बार बार रिपीट कर रही हूँ बिकॉज इसको आपको अच्छी तरह से समझना है, तो आई एम रिपीटिंग इट अगेन एंड अगेन. They are already there na bachcha. They are already there in our body na. 46 chromosomes are already there in our body cells and the germinal cells. Everywhere there are going to be 46 cells only, right? Huh. That I will tell you. That I will tell you, Bhubi. That is what I'm coming to this spermiogenesis. That where is the tail, where is the DNA, where is the head, everything I'll tell. Okay? But यहाँ तक का समझ में आया बेटा? किसी को डाउट है? Good. So we come to the process of spermiogenesis. That is how these spermatids. Means what happens after spermatids are formed? Spermatids will undergo spermiogenesis to form sperms. So from spermatids, sperms will be made. How? By this process which I'm explaining just now. Okay? Okay? In spermiogenesis, nucleus of spermatid shifts at one side. तो वो जो सर्कुलर था ना, उसके सेंटर में न्यूक्लियस था, वो एक साइड पे शिफ्ट हो जाता है. The nucleus of the spermatid shifts at one side. Except the chromatin material, all the structures come out of the nucleus. देखो, जो भी बाकी के स्ट्रक्चर्स है ना, गोल्गी है, एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम है, अपना लाइसोसोम है, जो भी है ना, एवरीथिंग विल बी कमिंग आउट इनटू द साइटोप्लाज्म. न्यूक्लियस के बाहर आ जाएगा. न्यूक्लियस में क्या रहेगा? सिर्फ क्रोमैटिन मटेरियल. ओके. एज अ रिजल्ट द न्यूक्लियस बिकम स्मॉलर एंड लाइटर इन वेट. हल्के फुल्के हो जाएंगे. उसके अंदर का सब बाहर निकल आया साइटोप्लाज्म में. स्पर्मेटिड के साइटोप्लाज्म में सब कुछ आ गया. न्यूक्लियस में क्या बचा? सिर्फ डीएनए बचा. राइट? देन several Golgi vesicles gather just above the nucleus. You know what are Golgi and vesicles. We have already completed with cell unit chapter, so you know what I'm trying to tell you, right? So all the Golgi vesicles will come and lie just above the nucleus. Some of the Golgi vesicles develop granules called as proacrosomal granules. See, as I said, Golgi vesicles में सब कुछ बन सकता है. जिसकी जरूरत है वो बनेगा. So your some of the Golgi vesicles will make granules called as proacrosomal granules. Such granules containing vesicles are called as proacroblast. Okay. Rest of the Golgi vesicles are called as Golgi rest. The Golgi rest dissolve in cytoplasm. इसका मतलब क्या हो गया? अगर 500 Golgian vesicles वहां पर इकट्ठा हुए हैं, उनमें से सिर्फ 100 Golgian vesicles are capable of making this granules, right? Then only 100 will remain there. Rest of the 400 will get dissolved in the cytoplasm. Okay. So the rest which are going to get dissolved in the cytoplasm will be called as Golgi rest. Previous slide is this only which you have already attended, my dear. See this one. You have already attended this slide now. Huh. Yeah, after this, I'm talking about this slide only. Okay. Yeah. As a result, the nucleus, rest of the Golgi vesicles are called as Golgi rest. The Golgi rest dissolves in cytoplasm. All the proacroblast fuse. So all the granules containing Golgi vesicles will fuse, and they will form a large vesicle which is called as acroblast. Like a cap-like thing, now they will make like a helmet-like thing, I would say. Like a helmet, they will make a large vesicle on the nucleus, over the nucleus, called as acroblast. And its granule is called as acrosomal granule. Acroblast arrange just above the nucleus, just like a helmet. Okay, so what has happened? See, वो जो circular spermatid था, वो अब change हो रहा है उसका shape. क्यों? क्योंकि the nucleus is shifting to one side. Why is it shifting to one side? Because it is becoming lighter in weight. Why is it becoming lighter in weight? Because only the DNA material is going to be present in it. Rest everything will be thrown into the cytoplasm. Okay. After the nucleus is shifted, all the Golgi vesicles will come and make a covering on top of the nucleus. Few of them will make granules. Those which make granules will sustain there. Rest which cannot make granules will get dissolved in the cytoplasm. The ones which were making granules, which will be now called as proacroblast, will merge together, will fuse together to form a large vesicle which is going to be containing acrosomal granules. Okay, इधर तक समझा कि कोई डिफिकल्टी है? इधर तक की कहानी समझी कि is there any difficulty, my dears? Easy? It's very interesting, right? It's very interesting. Yeah. Then the cytoplasm of the spermatid starts moving towards the posterior side. So at the anterior end, the nucleus will be there, and the अभी ये मटके का shape बन जाएगा. It will become like a shape of a matka. And when it becomes a matka shape structure, now the cytoplasm will go towards the tapering lower end. Samjha? It will go towards the lower end, posterior side. As a result, the plasma membrane shrinks and gets attached to the acroblast and the nucleus. Now imagine plasma membrane. उसके नीचे है acroblast, उसके नीचे है न्यूक्लियर मेम्ब्रेन, इधर पूरा साइटोप्लाज्म. अगर मैंने साइटोप्लाज्म को ऐसे नीचे पुल किया तो अल्टीमेटली who is going to get pulled? The plasma membrane is going to get pulled. So plasma membrane will get pulled, which will be now touching the acroblast. Correct? It will be now touching the acroblast, and which will now cover the nucleus. Fine, I'll show you the diagram. It will become all the more easy. Don't worry. Just try to imagine now. Due to this, head of the sperm is formed. So now you understood that spermatozoa का head कैसे बना बेटा? Simple है. देखिए diagram देखिए. अभी easy हो जाएगा ये diagram देखने के बाद. It will become very simple. See, this is your spermatid. This is your spermatid, circular one. 4 बने थे, है ना? अब देखो यहाँ पर है ना, ये acrosomal vesicle बन गया, Golgi body के granules से भरा हुआ, right? See, अब क्या हुआ, ये इसके और करीब आ गया. It has come very much closer to it. Look at this. Now all the cytoplasm is moving downwards. You can see this at the posterior end. And now the plasma membrane is going to get pulled downwards. ये जितना नीचे नीचे जाएगा उतना plasma membrane नीचे नीचे आता जाएगा. And finally it will completely cover the Golgi and vesicle and the nucleus, which we call it as head of the sperm. समझा कैसे हुआ? हाँ, very good answer, Bhumi. Very correct, my dear. बिल्कुल सही answer. So you had asked this doubt ना, that where is the DNA? I told you I'll tell you very soon. So now you only gave the answer. See, so nice. Yes. So the DNA is going to be present in the head of the spermatozoa. Yeah, Bhumi was asking that where is the DNA? Now she has only answered. Okay, miss, that means the DNA is going to be in the head of the sperm. Right? Perfect, perfect, perfect. So you understood this. Very good. Well, so you under all of you all understood how the head is going to be formed. ये प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन देखिए अम्ब्रेला होती है ना, अपनी अम्ब्रेला खुली होती है ना, उसको अगर बंद करना है तो हम उसको कैसे पुल करेंगे नीचे तो वो पूरा कपड़ा आपके तरफ आ जाएगा ना, समथिंग लाइक दैट. The plasma membrane will be pulled downwards because of the weight of the cytoplasm. And when it gets pulled, it is going to ultimately touch the actoblast and the nucleus. Ha, exactly, Vaishnavi. Very good, Pita. Correct. So see, what happens because of this? The cytoplasm of the spermatid starts moving towards the posterior side. As a result, plasma membrane shrinks and gets attached to the actoblast and nucleus. Due to this, head of the sperm is formed. Now, centriole starts forming axonema. You already know what's a centriole, right? So it's going to form the axonema. Axonema is the central 9+2 arrangement, flagella, याद है? Cell unit of life. हाँ. So now, centriole starts forming axonema. Then all the mitochondria of the spermatid are arranged in a spiral order around the axonema. एक्सोनेमा जैसे ही बनता जाएगा 9+2 के फिलामेंट जैसे ही बनते जाएंगे उनको सराउंड करेगा माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया, पूरा सराउंड करेगा माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया ऊपर की तरफ. In this way, middle piece of the sperm is going to be formed. So look at this diagram. See here, can you see? ये एक्सोनेमा बन रहा है ब्लू वाला, ये देखो माइक्रोट्यूब्यूल्स 9+2. तो ये देखो ये एक्सोनेमा बन रहा है और ये एक्सोनेमा के अभी आजू बाजू में ये रेड कलर का कवरिंग दिख रहा है आपको. कैन यू सी दिस रेड ऑरेंज whatever color seems to you, right? It is going to be the mitochondria. Okay, so this makes up the middle piece of the sperm. So we saw how the head is going to be made. This is how the middle piece is going to be made. Okay, got it? So middle piece में क्या होता है? Middle piece में कुछ नहीं है बेटा, middle piece में है mitochondria. Fine. In this way, middle piece of the sperm is formed. Now, axonema elongates towards the posterior side and extends to form the tail. So the tail is also going to be the 9+2 microfilaments only extending. Okay. Cytoplasm of the spermatid continuously flows towards the posterior end. तो पूरा liquid जो है cytoplasm जो है वो भी नीचे की तरफ ही आ रहा है continuously. So till the tip of the tail, cytoplasm continued रहेगा. So in this way, the sperm will be having head, middle piece, and tail. So you understood how spermiogenesis has taken place. This process is called as spermiogenesis, formation of spermatozoa from the spermatid. Any difficulty, any doubts? Look at the diagram also one more time if you want. So this is what? The head, the middle piece, which is going to be having mitochondria ka spring uske upar, and this entirely is going to be the tail. And this is how they look like under the microscope. The sperms will look like this under the microscope. Other organelles in the cytoplasm. See, ये दिखाई दे रहे हैं आपको छोटे छोटे pieces. These all are going to be the cell organelles. 24 days. Yes, Vaishnavi. Yes, Picha. So it's going to take 24 days for all these things to happen, which is really a very long process. Got it now? What would tail consist? Microtubules. Microtubules. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Fine. Got this. Understood about this. That's how the spermatozoa are going to be formed. Then they will reach the, then they will reach the apices, if you remember. Through the apices, they will reach the retetestes. From the retetestes, they will reach the vasa efferentia. From the vasa efferentia, vasa differentia. Vasa efferentia से epididymis. Head epididymis से body of epididymis. Body of epididymis से cauda epididymis or tail of epididymis. Tail of epididymis से vasa differentia. Vasa differentia to the ampulla. Ampulla to the ejaculatory duct where it will be provided with nourishment from the seminal vesicles by secreting the seminal fluid, prostrate fluid. Will be passing through the three areas of the urethra, that is prostatic urethra, membranous urethra, penile urethra. So this entire journey आंखों के सामने आ गई पूरी. How is it all about now? Is there any confusion in anyone's mind? Lobules, lobules. Yes. Yes. This formation of this entire will take place in the lobules. Acrosome will have hyaluronidase enzyme. Yes, perfect. It's going to have hyaluronidase enzyme. Okay. Well, so uh, we'll do this in the next class. It's already heavy. I won't trouble you all more. Today is what? Wednesday. So Friday we'll go ahead with the hormones of the male reproductive system. ठीक है? आज के लिए इतना ही काफी है. General, my dear. General practitioner. Will you show the slide before the diagram? Which slide you want to see, my dear? Which slide you want to see? This one? This one? Yeah, yeah. Got it? Understood? Sure. Thank you so much. See you all on Friday with the next part. थोड़ा ही बचा है male reproductive system का. After that, we will start with the female reproductive system in the next class itself. It won't take too much of time to complete the male reproductive system. Almost done with it. So next class, we'll go ahead with the female reproductive system as well. Bye, beta. Bye, bye, bye. See you all. See you all. Yeah, I'm sending it. I'm sending it. I'm sending it.